Eric Zuley's going to be joining us in moments. And I know Lindsay wants to introduce our next guest. I know that she's trying to connect Eric and make sure that he's able to.
Yep. Eric, are you here?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. Okay, I just made you a phone.
Oh, there he is.
Should be able to make your
Welcome
spotlight.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Wake up, wake up. It's coffee time.
I actually have a very special jacket.
Woo, look at that.
Wow, look at that jacket. Whoa, wait a minute.
Oh, man. Holy crap.
There's a reason why I'm wearing this jacket too, and I'm wearing it on all of my interviews and all the things I'm doing. We have a anime character coming out. This is the special jacket that I will be wearing, so it's kind of pretty cool stuff. But thank you for having me on.
What do you think, guys? Eric needs to be in the tribe with that jacket. If Lord Interesting was,
Eric needs to be in Vegas, right? He needs to go to us in Vegas, spend the time with Lindsay and I, kind of run of the town. That jacket, he would be the centerpiece.
I mean, if Lord Interesting was awake right now, Peter would be losing his mind. He would love that. Yeah, Peter would love that. Well, so Eric is an amazing guy. I met Eric through, how did I meet you, Eric? Was it through Alec or? I'm not sure.
No, actually Denise, my president from my TV network, introduced us and met you online and then had you on our stage.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that part. I just wasn't sure if it was through Alec, because Alec is a contributor here too, Alec Stern. But I believe you guys are pretty good friends as well.
Yeah, Alec and the boy.
Yeah, so I had the pleasure of speaking on Eric's stage, the eZWay broadcast last week. It was really fun, and I think that that's something that, you know, I really feel like for these inventors, Eric, you know, your ability to broadcast, your ability to help build brands and really help them find their why and their why not, I think is so incredible. Eric is like a self-made entrepreneur. He spends his life, you know, giving people a stage, helping them find their why, helping them share incredible gold and knowledge. I mean, Eric, you have such an incredible story. And I think that that's a lot of, for founders, what's important, right, is really the story. And cultivating that story. And that's really what you have, is like a giant, beautiful storyboard for people to sort of come in and out of, you know, between your networks and your broadcast capability and also your branding and your online penetration. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, you've really got something that's really neat, and I love just how supportive you are for entrepreneurs in the marketplace. And so we have this broadcasting just right now through our Instapreneur Mastermind page, and on LinkedIn we have the Shark Tank group, which has almost 10,000 people in it, and so we have a lot going there, as well as our other LinkedIn properties and whatnot. So we do mostly here on Facebook and LinkedIn, but we're excited to blow you up and so happy to have you here. So I'm going to just let you take it away, and I'm going to spotlight your video. We'll be right here. So this is Eric Zuley coming to you live with, he's got the Wall of Fame, the eZWay Network, and also his show, and as well as his incredible magazine, the eZWay magazine. He's like Mr. Brand. So if you want to build a brand and be who you are and know who you are, this is a guy to watch and follow. You got lots of fans here. Trisha Melvin, John Barrett, they all went to the event, many of our people. Loved you and loved your event last week. So, all right, without further ado, Eric Zuley. Yay!
Yay! Thank you. I appreciate it, Lindsay. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Hey, John. Thanks so much for having me, guys, on. You know, hey, John. Thanks so much for having me on. So I you know, if you guys don't know me, I'm an entrepreneur that helps entrepreneurs. We have what's called, you see on the top of me, the eZWay Wall of Fame. Little advice, guys. I'll give you, because I know that Lindsay asked me to give a couple of golden nuggets, so I wore my golden jacket in honor of the golden nuggets I'll be giving you guys. Whenever you have an opportunity to come onto a broadcast like this, whenever you have an opportunity to be interviewed, make sure that your background is always promoting whatever it is you're mainly wanting to promote, because the entire time I talk to you guys, you're going to be seeing eZWayWall.com, which is the main thing that we're wanting to push. And it's a little tip I learned is when you have the opportunity to get to someone else's audience, you want to make sure that you always have it in the background of whatever it is you're trying to push. And you don't want to make it seem like you're trying to mainly promote yourself. You just kind of let it just flow, as well as you can text eZWay to 55678, like you see right there. So you see the way that I've designed my background on this particular broadcast. Hopefully, you know, the audience for Lindsay and her group and her tribe checks it out. The Wall of Fame is an interesting social network that has some of the biggest influencers in the world, some of the biggest entrepreneurs and nonprofit people and celebrities and stuff. And so you guys might want to check it out. But yeah, so my name's Eric Zuley, and Lindsay said, it's always good to tell the story. So I'll tell you guys my story, a little bit of who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I am an entrepreneur. I was in sales for a long time, and I'm also trying to go off of what Lindsay was saying. I was watching previously. She was talking about sales, and so my background is in sales and CompUSA. I worked at CompUSA for about a year and a half, and I started out as a cashier, and then I worked my way up to business machines lead. I started actually getting some pretty good sales flow consistency, and I was top sales for a couple months, and then they asked me to actually be a trainer and teach a team. And so I became a business machines lead. I was able to teach that team. And that was actually a big life-changing situation for me on a sales perspective, because I got a chance to learn the 7 steps to sales. And if you guys don't know, write this down. Okay. I'm going to give you guys some valuable knowledge, which we paid to actually get educated with this. But there's specific steps in sales. There's recognizing buying signals, there's qualified questions, but the main thing is there's painting pictures and product knowledge. Rapport is very, very important. And when you're doing sales, you're not selling. Don't ever sell. Don't ever try to push your product or your service on people. Find out their needs, find out what it is they're mainly needing, and do they need your product? And if they don't really push it on them. Don't sell them. Offer it to them and explain to them why they need. Listen. The more you listen, the more sales and conversion you're going to end up getting. Don't be excited to sell your stuff. Listen to their needs. Listen to what it is they need. The more you listen, the more that they're going to have trust with you. They're going to have rapport. If you don't know what rapport is, it's gaining their confidence. It's getting to know them. Get to know them as people, and then start selling, as well as product knowledge. You got to really, really know your product and painting a picture. And then one of the biggest things is recognizing buying signals, because a lot of people don't even know when to actually close. And a lot of times people will talk themselves out of a deal. And so if you want to know more about sales, I can help you guys a lot. We have a lot of different things you can follow. And my sales closing ratio is around 85%. So I'm pretty decent. So when I train people on that, we're pretty good. But I say that because that was my story. That was the first step of where I really learned sales. I learned to get to where I am today. And I also played a lot of video games. I was a strategist with video games. Who remembers Zelda? And by the way, I love interaction. You're going to see me looking at my phone from time to time, because I know a lot of my eZWay family is probably popping in. I hope that they're here. And if they are, please, post a comment and say, hello, Eric, how you doing? And thanks for, I just love the interaction. So the more interaction I can get, and I think that Zoom allows you guys to, there we go. I think Zoom allows you guys to put your little hand up and stuff. So if you're feeling me, put your hand up and interact with me as I'm talking. But who remembers Zelda, StarCraft, Warcraft, all those strategy games? Those games were a big reason of why I became who I am today, because I wanted to exercise my mind, not poison my mind, not make me stupider. I wanted to get smarter. So as a kid, I played a lot of strategy games. I played games that made me think, and that actually expanded my brain. And then, believe it or not, from there, it went into the sales. I took sales training. I worked at Aqua Resource Group. I worked in mortgages. I got involved with banking and financing and stuff. And I went to Saddleback College. I went to Mission High School. I learned what I needed to learn, and I really developed what I didn't graduate college. I'm going to say this right away. Okay. I don't feel that I needed to, and I'm not putting a message out there in any way that you don't need to graduate college, but I feel like I got the information I needed to get for the year of college I took. And I learned from a lot of people that I ended up meeting and absorbing from. I think that you learn more by being into it and actually, being a part of it and being on the streets and learning it, versus having people have their systems of how they drill things into you. And plus, you can learn everything you need to learn now on Google and YouTube and things like that. And so I started out with that, and in the sales and in those companies I was working with, I ended up meeting some individuals that were really, really cool. And this was another transition in my life. I got involved in freestyling, and I don't know if you guys know what freestyling is, but I'll give you guys a little sample of it. Okay. So I'm teaching you guys sales, and oh, you're sold. And you didn't know that this dude would be wearing gold right here on the camera, just talking to you. And man, I'm telling you what to do. So make sure you got your pencils and your pens. You didn't listen to me? Well, I'll say it again, that you got to listen and take down the 7 steps of sales and services. But you know what, man? But I'm kind of nervous. I'm a nervous dude here on there. No, I'm not nervous ever when it comes to guys and people and how they realize what I'm saying. And then you know what? I'm praying that you guys listen to what I'm saying. Okay, anyway, but that's freestyle. So it's kind of like off the top of your head. You have fun while you're doing it. And I really got into it.
Holy shit. Sorry, you're a pitchman. I love it. It's awesome. That's great. I speak in, by the way, everybody knows I speak in rap songs and movie titles all the time. I'm on the highways and the byways with the 22-inch rims on, with my shades on and the blades on. Oh, you don't even know. I love it. I love it. If I had that clapping thing like you have on yours, I would have done it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, we'll just do the clapping. And you guys can always put your icons in. That's what I always tell people. Put your icons in when we're on a digital stage. Put your icons in. The little clap icon. Go ahead and put your icons in if you're feeling anything that I'm doing, or any of the speakers that are going to be on Lindsay's stage today. And by the way, when we do this type of stuff, guys, just because it's a camera and a laptop doesn't mean it's not a virtual stage. I mean, right now we have viewers watching what I'm saying, and people are going to be sharing. Hopefully they make this thing go viral, and so this is a virtual stage. So I want to get as much interaction as I can. I want to keep reminding you guys that. So put your icons in. All right. So yeah, but the rapping thing and whatever. So anyway, going to my story, when I learned about the rapping thing, that made me really exercise my mind into how I designed my mind and when I was doing things with business wise. Because when I learned to freestyle, when I learned to I call them flow points, when I learned to actually exercise my mind to think faster than most people and think in different directions, it really helped me to get my mind in a thought process to multitask. And so my mind thinks fast. I mean, right now my mind probably doesn't think that fast because I'm going off of like 1 hour sleep, because I had a huge proposal and it's crossed the fingers. I got a big deal going on here, but I had a huge proposal that I had to get done. And I promised Lindsay I'd be on this broadcast. So here I am. And so, but you design your mind the way you want it to be. And so when I met these guys, I saw them freestyling, and I didn't know about any of this stuff. And so I did what I had to do to learn, and I went hard and I learned. But that was the direction that headed me into building a studio, being an entrepreneur, building a promotions company, a production company. I ended up, now I'm going to give you the fast version of the story, because I know I probably don't have a whole lot of time here. So when I was doing the producing in the studio, and I was getting into music, I ended up meeting a television producer who brought in a music group, and I had a studio. I actually built and designed a studio at my house, and I actually invested a lot of money. My dad invested money into me, and shout outs to my dad, my parent, who believed in me, believed in his son, wasn't forcing me to do the 9 to 5 thing. He was being an awesome dad, going, I'm gonna follow my son's dreams, and I'm gonna invest into him. And it was a smart move, because now today we're pretty successful. We're at about 7 figures with the company. But so as he invested in me, as I invested in myself, I was doing the CompUSA thing. I'm investing into this dream that I have, and I'm creating music, I'm creating tracks, I'm producing music. And I ended up meeting this producer. And then from that type of life and doing what we were doing and hitting events and having fun, I had a friend of mine call me up, and he was like, hey man, come down. Do you want to perform? A friend of mine called in sick or whatever. And so right there, that was like another stepping stone in my life. All right. And let me give you guys this advice. Whenever you have an opportunity opportunity to be on something, stand out. Just like you see me standing out. I'm wearing a bright gold jacket. I'm wearing a baseball cap. I got glasses on. I look different. You're not going to forget me. Whenever you have an opportunity to have that next stepping stone in your life, stand out as best as you can so you're recognizable and you're embedded in people's minds. And then people, you know, really want to find out who you are, right? So when I had this opportunity to go to the stage, I stood out. I made sure I invested into a limousine. I hired beautiful models. I had them wearing my shirts. I was wearing a real nice suit. And so my appearance, my arrival automatically drew attention. It drew lead generation. It drew people wanting to talk to me. And so I went on stage, I did my thing, and I ended up meeting a publicist because of doing that. And because I stood out, because I popped my collar when I got on stage, when I got to the event, it ended up bringing, you know, a lot of business opportunity to me because I arrived standing out. So hopefully that's a nice little golden nugget. By the way, when I give you guys golden nuggets, I'm going to say golden nuggets. So I hope you're writing them down. You're taking the language. Yes, I am with Bridget. Thanks, Bridget. So make sure that you stand out. And so anyway, I did my performance on stage. I had a publicist come up to me. Oh my God, I love your charisma. I love this. I love that. And so she gave me her card. And then she offered for me to come down to this event in Hollywood. Now, mind you, I'm a kid from Orange County, you know, sales, standard business, you know, entrepreneur, didn't really do the Hollywood thing, didn't really do the entertainment thing, but I knew that was another opportunity in my life. I knew that was another chance for me to hit another stepping stone in my life. And so I stood out again and got a limousine, you know, showed up proper. And that was the day I saw a gentleman that had a microphone and the lights and the camera and the action and all this stuff was around him. And I got bit by the bug, not necessarily to be a star, but doing what I normally did. What I loved to do was being a people person and doing kickbacks at my house and just, you know, getting to know people. And here's the thing too, guys, when you have a chance to do business with somebody, really get to know them and have a reason for what, you know, like when I go into a room, I make it a game. Okay, here's what I'm trying to give you guys. Make it a game. Everything you do, make it a game. Make it fun. And if it's not fun, don't do it. Create that fun in your business and what you're doing and make it fun on who's in the room and what's going on. You know what I mean? And so I made a game out of every single time I would network into another situation. And so I saw this kid with the microphone. And so I went over to the producer. Now check this out. Guess who the producer was that knew the publicist that saw me on stage? And my original conversation, my original story is I told you guys that I was a music producer and I met this television producer. Well, guess what? The same television producer that the publicist, and I didn't know these two knew each other. The same television producer happened to be the same person that was in my studio. So he already kind of knew me, and that was kind of cool, right? That's how God works. Shout outs to God. You know, and so I went over to that producer, kind of knew him, and then said, hey man, what do I need to do that? I want to hold a microphone. I want to interview people. I want to have fun. You know what I mean? And he looks at me and he says, you need to be a people person. And so I'm like, well, okay, this dude doesn't know who I am. Let me show. So what do I need to do to show him I'm a people person? So I decided to go around. John says, never pass up an opportunity, create the wonderful noise that makes people want to follow up in your footsteps and be a part of the magic you're about to create. Perfect. Yes, you got it right there, John. And so I went around the room and I basically got a bunch of cards, not knowing that cards are like gold in Hollywood, contacts are gold. But I went around, got a bunch of cards, and I got like probably 50 cards. And I walked over to the producer. Now, mind you, this producer was Mr. Star, Mr. Producer guy. Everybody wanted to talk to him. You couldn't get around him. This is another tip, another golden nugget. All right. Don't take no for an answer. When you have an opportunity, make sure that don't let people ignore you. Don't be rude about it, but don't let people ignore you. Make sure that they know that you're there and you're serious. And so I walked over to that producer and I put my hand on his shoulder, even though there's a bunch of people there. And I put my hand on his shoulder and I kind of squeezed a little bit, you know, letting him know like, hey, I'm here, dude. I worked hard to get what you asked. I did what you asked. And so anyway, he turns around, he says, what? And I said, well, you know, I have a way to show you I'm a people person. And I pulled out my cards, you know, pulled out my little cards out the pocket and went, is this people person enough for you? And he like, whoa, he like looked at the cards and I gave him the cards and that was like my audition. That was like my opportunity. And mind you, I made my opportunity happen. I made what God opened up for me. I found my key. I made sure that it was the right key to open up, to put in the key slot, to open up that next doorway in my life. And I made that happen. And had I not done it that way, I may not be sitting here right now in the position I'm in talking to you guys. So that's another thing, is when you have your opportunity, make it happen for yourself. No matter what, do what you need to do to be unique. Okay. And I think pulling out 50 cards was pretty unique. So anyway, he calls me up about 2 months later. The publicist calls me up and they invite me to the Bonner Gold International Trade Show. Now check this out. You're going to have decisions in your life to have that next step happen in your life. And at the time I was working at CompUSA when they called me on my phone, and you're not supposed to be on your phone, but I was like, oh, the producer's calling me. And so I had to make a choice. I had to choose whether to stay doing my 9-to-5 thing, and listen to the rules and not leave. I was, working at the time. I was on their clock, because they called me up, and they Hollywood doesn't play, man. They don't give you a lot of time. They don't give you days. They don't give you weeks. They give you hours. So I'm like in Orange County, and I'm like an hour and a half away, and so they're like, hey, come down to the Bonner, go to International Trade Show with Morris D at the time. Come down here. Here's your chance, another shot. And so I'm like at CompUSA, and I'm like, okay, I either leave now and get this opportunity, potentially lose my job where I was getting a stable income, or follow my dream and do what needs to be done. And so I decided to follow my dream, do what needs to be done. And I decided to say, hey, I have an emergency. I told him I had an emergency, because in my life, it was an emergency. I wanted to hit the next step of my life, and I was hoping I didn't get fired, but I did what I needed to do, hopped in my car. This time I didn't have no limo this time, but I hopped in my car, drove all the way down to Long Beach, which was where it was at the Queen Mary, the Bonner Gold International Trade Show. And I get there, and there's all these cameras and all this lights, camera action, and all this stuff. And there's sets and whatever. And I'm like looking around, and I'm like, okay, where's this producer guy? And this lady runs up to me and grabs me. Okay, good, you're here. And yanks me to this chair, and they start putting makeup on me and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Cause I don't know what's going on at all. And then they hand me a script. You need to do this, you need to do that, and all these things, right? And I'm looking at the script, and again, guys, be you, do you. Don't do them, don't do what they want, do what you want to do you. Okay, so I looked at their script, and I was like, okay, so when am I going on? Oh, you're on in 15 minutes, and all this craziness. And so I took a deep breath. You always got, when you got stress and you got things going on, you got to take a deep breath, get the air in your lungs, and be prepared and get your oxygen in your brain, so you're thinking correctly when you're doing things. And I took a deep breath, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to stress about this anymore. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do it the easy way. And I said, hey, do you mind if I don't do this script thing? And can you just tell me, what it is that you want me to do? And so this was my opportunity, but I did it my way. And if I wouldn't have done it my way, I wouldn't be here being able to have the chance to say what I need to say. Okay. I actually didn't mean to rap and rhyme that whole thing, but it kind of worked. So what I told them is look, I need to do me. And then, and they said, no, you can't do this. You have to memorize this. You have to memorize that. And I said, well, and I told them, and I knew, I drove all the way down to Long Beach Convention, to the, Queen Mary, and they just were being very adamant about, no, you need to do it this way. And I said, well, you know what, then maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this isn't the right timing, and this is kind of crazy, and I'm a little stressed. I don't know what's going on. And I said, maybe this isn't for me. And I got up, and I was like, okay, I'm over this. Right. And then they grabbed the producer, and he ran up, and it was all crazy. And he's like, look, let him do whatever he wants to do. It's his funeral, as in that. This is my chance. You want to mess it up, that's on you. So I did what I needed to do. I did me. Okay. And I ended up killing it. I ended up bringing them, and I introduced them to Morris Day and the Time. I went behind the scenes when the models were putting the makeup on and all that stuff. And I got this really, really cool stuff. And that was my first opportunity. I just gave you guys my little story of how my opportunity, and a lot more of what I'm talking about, guys, if you're interested, a lot more is in my book. My book coming out June 24th. There's another golden nugget, another tip. So you have your opportunity to be on someone else's platform. You do product placement. This is called product placement. This is me now telling you guys about my book, but very, very nonchalant. I'm not trying to push it on you, but I'm now promoting my book. So if you guys are interested in more of that story and you want to listen and you want to learn how to create and turn relationships into relationship equity and learn how I got involved with some of the top people in the world, from the creator of the Make-A-Wish Foundation to Sharon Lechter to the star of Terminator 3, Kristanna Loken, and Jeff Hoffman from Priceline, and all these amazing people that are on my wall. That book is really going to give you a lot of stories on how I met all these people. But that was like my beginning story. I see them popping on. I don't see a sign saying, okay, Eric, you got 5 minutes left. So how much more time do I have?
No, we're loving you. You have about 5 more minutes left, but I just wanted to pop on and say, everybody's blowing up. We've got about 17 watch parties going on.
Oh, cool.
It's probably accumulation of maybe 2,500 to 3,000 people watching right now throughout.
Awesome. I'm doing a watch party right now. Thanks for reminding me.
Awesome.
I just did my watch party.
And all of our group is doing watch parties as well, all of our founders. But you know what, John, I wanted to bring John back on and you, because I have, so our group is really interesting because I don't know if you know this. I know you know that they're inventors, but these aren't just like inventors like that you see on Shark Tank. These people are like we have a guy who's like a 22-time patent holder, he created, all these things that people know and use. These are like the people you read about, in high school, right? Like in junior high, that invented gravity. Like these are who these people are. So they're not just like people with an idea in their garage. They're really affecting change. Like for example, Bridget Johnson, she's a school teacher that teaches, phonics in rap. Right? That's what she does. Cool. People, they're change makers, man. And I was thinking about your Wall of Fame. Man, you guys should all go over and get on his Wall of Fame. You should see all the people there. You should join it. You should be part of it. You should be in the magazine. You guys need to blow up your personas because it's not just about your product, it's your personality. That's what sells who you are. People buy you, right? And that's exactly what we're buying in Eric. We're buying him. We're buying the golden jacket. He's the guy. You love it. But you know what's interesting about his Wall of Fame, and this is something, so our group is very much about experiments and science and selling things. And we've been brought into the U.S. Patent Office, Buckingham Palace, the White House. We work with the government actually to help people become entrepreneurs. And we did this broadcast called InstaSell, where we actually had the inventors be mentored live and then sell a product live and actually transact to consumers. It's really interesting. But the other night, John, I was with Jason, one of our other colleagues, so he'll be on at noon. And he was like, and my son, Paul, who's also an entrepreneur himself, and he said, it'd be really interesting if there was a way that there was a wall that you could broadcast a video and at the same time kind of see somebody selling something like all day, like kind of like how HSN is, but all in the same place, right? So you could go from place to place to place, thing to thing to thing. And it just dawned on me, you have the technology and you have the wall, and these people all have pitches, products, and concepts, as well as you would have, John, myself, Peter, who've all been live shopping hosts for many years.
If I may,
feel free. There you go.
Not to interrupt you, but I stole the control of your computer here just so they can see what you're talking about.
We need a good hacker.
USA guys, they know everything.
And so you were mentioning, the store. This is exactly what you're talking about. We have a full-fledged store, and we've literally had about 27 different transactions happen from that stage that we did. We've had 37 different business transactions of networking happen, and everybody comes on here and they put their services on the wall, and we make them money, and we just do a revenue share, or they become a member or whatever. And so, and then as far as what she was talking about for the wall, we have 180, almost 190 members now on the Wall of Fame, and you'll find celebrity influencers, and there's our boy Alex Stern. And some of the top influencers in the world are in this, and so you can connect right with them if you're a member, and you get a profile, and then we even have what we call service currency, where you can get money. This is $42 that you can actually redeem for services. And we have so I know I don't have a whole lot of time, but I'll just tell them that we have television. We build television channels. We build shows for people. But not only do we build television channels and shows, we actually help people develop a business out of streaming and put them on Roku, Apple, and Amazon, and all of our stuff. We have our magazine, like you mentioned, we have our radio and stuff, but really what we do is we build an attractor factor around your brand. We build that, hence my book, we build that influence effect around your brand, and it's very unique. And there's a reason why there's 75,000 something marketing companies and PR type companies and branding companies that are following me on Twitter, and they're trying to get involved. And a lot of them are starting to pop up on the wall. So we've literally created a self-sustaining automated mechanism for influencers, celebrities, and up and comers that works. And it's so incredible watching people's story. A little of my story. I'm going to give you guys the real short version, because I think that a lot of people need to hear this piece. I almost died when I was 13 years old, guys. If you look at my arm, you can see, I don't know if you can, and this is better there. You see that there's like a, there we go. Now you can see it. There's a scar on my arm. My artery was severed. I almost died when I was 13 years old. My dad almost died of lymphoma cancer when he, it's stage 4, and then 10 years later he got it again. But our faith kept us going. We know that we have a purpose on this earth. We have a purpose to help people, and we've been extremely empowered to do so. And we want to just unite people, and that's what the wall is really meant to do. And so, I appreciate you bringing me on, Lindsay. I want to go over my time, but we have an app, just look up eZWay Family app on our Apple or Android store, but eZWayWall.com. You can actually connect with Lindsay. John, I think you just added yourself. You're on there now too, right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I saw you scroll by me as you went to Alec. It was cool.
Oh no.
I couldn't believe it.
Let's go back to John.
Pay attention to the holy chalice that is John.
There's John.
There I am.
That's because you haven't used your profile really.
I love filling that out.
Yes, you have. Wow, you're on it, man. You jumped on your profile. It looks all clean and nice and shiny. I love it. And then, so if you guys are interested in television, we actually have a 24/7 television streaming network. We have over 47 different shows that you. Oh my
God! Could you guys imagine me and John all day long? What would you do,
Jason?
Yeah, and then what me and Lindsay are going to get together. She was on our stage. You killed it, by the way, Lindsay. We got a lot of good responses on you.
Oh,
and we go live right here. We go live on our app. We go live on the wall. We go live on Roku, Apple, and Amazon, and Facebook, and YouTube, and Vimeo, and Twitch, and all that stuff. And so, am I still there? Oh yeah,
you're still there. You're still here. We can see.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what's really funny? John, I don't want to cut into you because John's coming up.
No, that's okay. Yeah, actually, I'm enjoying this, man. Because it's a great lead into what I'm going to talk about being
authentic. You and I are having
awesome.
some brain interaction. You and me, John. We're like,
yeah.
But what's funny is, so we own like about every easy something trademark because we're in the infomercial business. So it's kind of funny. Like we're like eZWay, easy this, easy magic chopper, easy this. It's like our business, right? Magic and easy is what we do. So it's kind of funny, not in a bad way, but it's good. It's a positive thing. So we're thinking about what you're doing and we're going, oh, there's so much collaboration. But what's interesting is a lot of these inventors, they need that network. Like Bridget, for example, she's basically Mr. Rogers in a rapping, grandmother kind of way. And, this would be an awesome opportunity for her. But what's cool about what you do, and again, we should talk about this maybe for a future event, is having the broadcast aspect maybe with eZWay, do a collaboration, because it would give everybody opportunity to kind of have their channel, talk about what they do, and continuously be broadcasting, but with content that is actionable for products, right? Consumer products, their books, network placement. And what's funny is, again, I don't know if you know John, I didn't really actually fully introduce you to John, but I will, because I'm going to introduce everyone to John, because he's going to do a little talk real quick here. And John is actually one of the very first live shopping hosts in the history of live shopping. And so as an HSN, QVC, he has more television hours than most television anchors. I think it's over 35,000 hours now. And with Facebook, it's probably double that now because we just talk all day. And also John has sold over 100,000 products live, and he was instrumental in building many channels. And many of the things that you folks see on live shopping, how they sell things, the call to action, the way that the dollars per minute works, how things are monetized, were actually pioneered by John and many teams that John worked with and coached. How people actually present products on HSN and QVC, John actually taught that program. So like he built the way that they do the kind of over the backyard fence approach, where one person talks to the other one, a host and a guest host. That's John's idea. Okay. So like, and a lot of the things that John did with, when it comes to like a call to action and, dropping the clock, dropping the numbers, making them higher or changing, just reporting certain things, all came from things that John would learn in experiments over years of being on TV and in broadcast and listening to an earpiece and watching a computer screen or sensing the room tone, even though he wasn't able to really hear or see people, right? Because he was engaging with the camera. So without further ado, my co-founder, my friend, my personal mentor, Mr. John Cremens. And Eric, feel free to hang out as long as you want. I'm going to spotlight John. Everybody's going crazy. They love you, Eric.
They're loving Eric.
Thank you so much for the gold you dropped. Guys, you've got to go and see what Eric's up to. Be part of his events. Join the wall. We're going to see a lot of collaboration, I think, together. Again, I believe that software is a tool. And sometimes, it's doing one thing, but it's always the people that figure out how to connect two worlds, right? It's always that bridging the gap. There's something Eric has that maybe we need, and there's something that we have that maybe Eric needs. And then that creates this incredible gift and bounty that you guys get to harvest. So
let me just tell them how to find you, Lindsay. If you guys go to the wall and you go under eZWay Live and you go to eZWay Wall of Fame Virtual Summit, we have an entire recap of all 4 videos of the entire 16 hours of the entire event with all the speakers. We're not charging anybody anything. It's all available to you guys. But the edited version will be premium content. But thank you so much for having me on. Thank you, John, for letting me get into your time here a little bit. Okay. I will stay and support you and check you out. I do need to take off in about 5 minutes. And thank you to everybody. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you,
I love you guys.
Yeah, great job.
Right. And I'm going to spotlight John now. And
wow, what a fantastic speaker.
That was amazing.
Everything resonated. Everything that he said, everything that I look at, and everything that I've done in my life, complete resonation as to what Eric has done, and certainly glad to have him aboard today.